Hi, Dylan. Thanks so much for your question. We're going to look a bit at the idea behind square and cube roots, just so we can understand where the question that you have is coming from. And I have written it down. It's the very last one. Oh, it's the very last one that we're looking at over here. It's this one right over here. And we're going to get to that one. I just want to explain a little bit how it is to work around square and cube roots, especially when we're looking at numbers 10 to the power of something, of some other number. It does get a little easy to explain when we look at it from, a minuscule point, when we look at it from how we multiply in terms of what the square root and the cube roots are. So just pay close attention to what we're going to do, and I'll show you exactly what it is we're doing in this video. Okay, so let's start with the square root of 100. Now, when we talk about the square root of 100, we're asking ourselves, what number multiplied by itself twice? Because remember, if there's no number in front of the square root sign, that means there's a 2 there. And that means we're looking for one number multiplied by itself twice. That will give us 100. And I'm pretty sure you can think about it if you already look at the theme of what we're saying here. It's 10, because 10 times 10, it's the same number multiplied by itself, will give us 100. See over here. So which means the square root of 100 will be equal to 10. Okay, now we're going to look at the cube root of 1000. So we're looking for one number multiplied by itself 3 times that will give us 1000. And we can think about it, take a minute. We're going to get 10 times 10, which will give us 100, and then 100 times 10 will give us 1000. So our answer again is 10. Just like over here, 10 times 10 times 10 is going to give us 1000. And you can see that we're going from all the way over here. I'm going to draw a large arrow, and we're going all the way to the number that's in here. So if we're looking for the cube root, of 1000, what we're actually doing is looking for one number multiplied by itself 3 times to give us 1000. See what I've done there? Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now if you've noticed something quite tricky, like it just looks like a bit of a trick that we can use here, check this out. If I'm looking at 10 times 10, what I actually do here is I calculate 1 multiplied by 1, and that gives me 1 over here. And then I take the amount of zeros I have, which will be this one over here and this one over here, and I add them to the rest of the number. And we've done the same with this one over here. So I've said 1 times 1 gave me 1 times 1 gave me 1 again. And then I counted how many zeros I have. 1, 2, 3. And that corresponds to how many zeros I have over here. So basically what we're doing here is we're trying to look for a number from the side that's going to give us the number we're looking for over here, depending on the square root that's over here. So let's think about this. We want one number multiplied by itself 2 times. So something times something. And this something needs to give us 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So our answer over here needs to be equal to 10,000. And I can only multiply it twice. So I know that because I only have 2 numbers, I'm going to share the number of zeros I have. So I can have one number that has 2 zeros and another number that has 2 zeros. So I'm going to get 100 over here and 100 over here. And that will make perfect sense, because if we calculate this, I'm going to have 1 over here. 1 times 1 is going to give me that one. And then I'm going to count the number of zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to give me these 4 zeros I'm looking at over here. And I hope that kind of makes sense. So when we get to this number over here, we need 3 numbers. So I'm going to need something times something times something is equal to 1 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I hope that fits. Okay, let me write it again just to make sure that it actually fits. Okay, so I'm going to get some number times some number times some number is equal to 1,000,000. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I need to share all of these zeros that are sitting over here with 3 of these numbers. But I already know that each one of these numbers is going to start with 1 because that's the number I have there. So 1, 1, 1. And then we can look at how we're going to share over these zeros. Oh, I hope you know that the answer over here is actually 100. Just like that, because we're taking 100 and we're multiplying it by itself 2 times, like there, and that gives us 10,000. So over here, we're looking for 3 numbers multiplied by each other, then they're going to give us 1,000,000. And we can share out the zeros over here. So there are 3 numbers that we need to share out the zeros with. So I'm going to get 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be 100 times 100 times 100, which means my answer here is going to be 100. I hope that explained it a little better. I think you might need to do a couple of practices. You can look in the numbers section on the Watobi app. There's a section that talks about numbers and doing square and cube roots, and it will really help you just to understand the concept a little bit more. Go check it out, okay? I hope this was helpful.